Hello, I'm Ian.
And I'm Sam.
And we welcome you to the latest episode of Such Ranker, the show where we take 5, not 7, completely random films and try to rank them from worst to best. What could possibly go wrong?
That's just such an inside joke at this point.
It's an inside joke, but if we have fans, then they will know. That's the whole point.
Look.
Anyway, Sam, how are we doing today? We all right? We doing
Very well. How are you?
Oh, I'm not too bad. We just had Easter.
We have.
Did you get a lot of chocolate?
Too much.
Too much?
I haven't moved for 4 days.
Oh, nice. That's too much chocolate then.
Oh, no, I just hurt my leg. I can't get to the chocolate.
Oh, okay. So the chocolate hurt your leg. Did you have too much chocolate sitting on your leg?
You'd like to think so.
I know, right? Anyway, what films have we got to talk about today? I didn't feel like that was going anywhere. So let's just jump straight into the films. Let's not piss around. No one wants to hear
Let's
us
just
talk.
say that I had an Easter hangover.
Okay, nice.
It's about time.
Oh, it's about time.
Yeah.
It's about time.
That we talk about time.
About time that we
Well,
talk
we'll talk about time in a bit, but the
Okay,
time
that's
now
our
is
first
to,
film, right?
is to discuss
Our
about time.
first film, about time. About time. It's
Yeah.
about time we talk about time.
Yeah.
Cool. 2013. Because we need to know the date. Richard Curtis?
Yep.
Yep.
The most Richard Curtis. I am running out of ideas, but I will get my British schmaltz in it.
Yet only the third film he's directed.
Which is kind of mad.
Absolutely insane, right? Absolutely insane. Anyway, yeah, so we'll talk about that in a minute. Then after we talk about time, we're going to be talking about Khan! Star Trek.
That's the Wrath of Khan.
Darkness. I mean, it's also this as well.
Yeah,
Benedict
I know,
Cumberbatch just shouts it halfway through with no context.
We don't. He doesn't. No, it's not. It's not Cumberbatch. It's Zachary Quinto. He does say it dramatically.
He does say it dramatically.
I am Khan.
Yeah, that's right. Yes. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. Star Trek Into Darkness 2013, also 2013. Came out the same year as About Time. Yeah, cool. Film number 3.
Well, we've departed.
We have departed.
To the Departed.
2006.
Scorsese's big Oscar bonanza.
Yeah, but not the one he deserved it for.
No. A mid-2000s classic. With the classic cast of that era.
Yep. And we're absolutely going to have to compare it to Star Trek and About Time.
Yes.
But how are we going to do all those without dipping into a bit of comedy? The Hangover, 2009.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Rain Man.
Well, I mean, there's comedy in Rain Man.
The Hangover.
Yes, The Hangover.
An iconic
movie.
Comedy, 2000s comedy film.
Absolutely.
And then...
Yep, and then we're going to wrap it up with Rain Man.
The Rain Man.
Yes, 1988.
Oh, it's just Rain Man, isn't it? It's not The Rain Man.
It's not The Rain Man. I think it's just Rain Man.
Yeah. Right, About Time, Ian.
Yes, About Time. We talk about Time. Let's start off with some details. Richard Curtis, writer-director of this one, stars Donald Gleeson, Rachel McAdams and Bill Nighy. At the age of 21, Tim, who is Donald Gleeson, discovers he can time travel and change what happens and has happened in his own life. So he can't go back and change events, he can only change what's happened in his own life. His decision to make his world a better place by getting a girlfriend turns out not to be as easy as you might think. What do you think of this one, Sam?
This was okay.
This is okay.
It's a charming film. It has a very emotional relationship about father and sons. And Donald Gleeson, I feel like this is kind of his breakthrough.
This is a lovely little. It's a lovely film for all of these actors to be in.
Yeah.
Right. A Richard Curtis movie that isn't Love Actually, I think is nice. This is, let's say, the obscene thing about this is only his third movie that he's directed. It's also the last movie he directed. Everything else, apart from like he's done some bits and pieces for like comic relief and stuff like that as well.
He was for a long time just a very famous screenwriter and co-creator of Mr. Bean.
Yeah, so that's
kind of
the thing.
what he was.
He was known in the UK at least for a lot of the stuff that he was doing on TV because he also did Vicar of Dibley.
I think he might have just produced that. I think that is a.
I mean, he was associated with it, right? And then he also did things like. I wrote down some stuff. He did a lot of French and Saunders stuff.
Yeah.
He did Blackadder.
Yes.
And so he was very much as part of the zeitgeist in terms of UK.
Yeah, him
culture,
and Ben Elton were big collaborators. Yeah.
And then he basically he had arguably one of the best transitions into movies ever with Notting Hill and Four Weddings and a Funeral. And he's kind of flip-flopped in between things such as Bridget Jones. He is got a writing credit on Warhorse.
Yes.
Did you know this? Mamma Mia. He did Yesterday and stuff like that. But he's also been attached to a lot of, bad stuff too. Stuff that's not that great. His more
Yeah.
recent stuff, like Genie and things like that, is terrible. So yeah, he's kind of hit. He's particularly in latter years. Curtis has been kind of a bit hit and miss.
Yeah, his little golden period of the mid to late 90s, in terms of a British standpoint, will be hard to replicate. I mean, his premise of Notting Hill is fantastic.
Amazing.
I remember watching that as a kid and being like, this is such a brilliant idea.
Yeah. The same as Four Weddings. Four Weddings is a fantastic idea put to screen as well.
But where does About Time fit in that? Is it his weakest film?
I mean, of his three, you know...
Well, no, his weakest...
filmography?
His weakest film...
No, his weakest films are things like the stuff he's done recently, like Genie and stuff like that, aren't really great. They're really bad. They're poorly written.
Yeah.
But I think in terms of his legacy, I think About Time's quite high up. You know, he's got his massive tentpoles, and you can't ignore what he's done for TV. But I think in terms of movies, I think About Time is up there. I don't know many people that will watch About Time and went, I absolutely hate it.
Do you think this would have been handled better by somebody else? Do you reckon he should have just been the writer?
Possibly, but I mean, who would you have given this to?
Has he really made it as a director?
No.
That's what I mean.
He hasn't. I don't think he's necessarily been tested that well.
I mean, like Mike
'cause
Newell. Get Mike Newell in to do a film like this.
Yeah, great shout.
Oh,
Really
obviously,
good shout.
obviously, he did like 4 Weddings.
Yeah.
And he had recent, I don't know, kind of
It would have been a good
big
recollaboration
budget with Harry Potter.
Yeah, so it would have been like a really interesting recollaboration.
But About Time.
Yeah, it's sitting on a very comfortable meta score of 55. No noms, unfortunately.
Did quite well with box office.
Did really well, right? Worldwide gross of just under 100 million off of a budget of 12. Let's talk about Star Trek.
No.
Yeah, Star Trek Into Darkness came out the same year as About Time, 2013. Directed by J.J. Abrams. Written by Roberto Orci, Alex Kurtzman, and Damon Lindelof. And the story is, this is the sequel to Star Trek. After the crew of the Enterprise find an unstoppable force of terror from within their own organisation, Captain Kirk leads a manhunt to a war-zone world to capture a one-man weapon of mass destruction. That's directly from IMDb.
So, my relationship to this film is an interesting one.
Okay.
I watched this film in 2013 at Odeon and loved it. I watched it, and I think J.J. Abrams was announced at this point that he was going to direct the forthcoming Star Wars Episode 7? Is that right in my head? Yeah.
Yes.
Episode 7. So it's like, oh, this is exciting. And I watched it, and I was like, this is brilliant. And then, as you get older, and I didn't really know that much about Star Trek, I thought, this is just so not Star Trek. Because I'd never watched Star Trek as a kid. I avoided it like the plague. I don't know if you know, but I was a big fan of Stargate SG-1.
Really?
Yeah.
You never speak about it?
Yeah. So I watched Star Trek, and it's just like, Star Trek just isn't this. Star Trek is about, like, diplomacy. It's very mature sci-fi.
Yeah.
It's not really about, like, death and war and misery and pain and torture. So my relationship with this film has changed dramatically, probably more dramatically than most over the last, like, 13 years, from being 19 and thinking, this is fantastic action. And then you realise that this just doesn't fit into this universe at all.
So does that make it a bad thing though?
No, that's what I mean.
I was the same as you. I really liked Into Darkness, but I suppose then you've got that whole idea of expectations versus reality in a sense of just being like, right, well, the expectations of, say, a Star Trek fan going to see this, it's like, it's not fundamentally what Star Trek is. It doesn't necessarily mean it's not a good film.
But this is what I mean. If you are into Star Trek The Next Generation, I imagine more often than not you hated the direction Star Trek went after J.J. Abrams took over.
Yeah.
In my opinion. But it's really good. I mean, that's the thing with J.J. Abrams. Most of his films, even knowing plot-wise they're dire, they're always really fun.
Yeah.
Like even Rise of Skywalker, for all its appalling flaws, I imagine if you're not really into Star Wars, you'd probably have a good time.
So this is the thing I find interesting about Abrams, right? Like, I'm not like, I think we've spoken about Abrams before on the podcast, but if we haven't, then I think we've both got mixed opinions on Abrams. I think that's the best way to kind of describe it.
I am mixed to negative.
Yeah,
I think he's probably done more. Damn. You know how we were talking about in our recent One Credit After Another James Wan episode about their impact, both good and bad, on their respected genre.
Yeah.
I would say J.J. Abrams falls into the more negative category.
Yeah, but what I would say
science
though,
fiction.
yeah, but what I would say though is this for me is when Abrams was still very much in the shadow of Spielberg, and I think he was still then doing really interesting things within the genre. I say really interesting things.
Yeah.
He was still massively derivative of other directors that have worked within the field.
Yeah.
But that I think led to enjoyable movies because he was able to kind of drum up a lot of interest because he could recreate some of the things that we liked about it, whether or not it's close to lore in a sense. I think it's something different, but I would still say this is a good movie.
Yeah. What he does a brilliant job with is he creates a really good chemistry on set that you always know it translates to his films because everyone looks like they're having a good time.
Well, that's what I say. It links to Spielberg.
Yeah. So
Spielberg
I think
was so good at creating that atmosphere.
I mean, the cast is great. Like, everyone's really good.
Yeah.
Chris Pine as Kirk is really, really good.
Yeah.
I think everyone's kind of on point to the point where you could say they're being derivative, particularly Zachary Quinto.
Yeah.
Until he's not, until he's like too emotional.
Well, I read like an interesting thing, like a couple, because I was reading around this actually, just as we were doing some research for the podcast. And I think one of the big things that people say, again, I think more so fans of the original Star Trek, is that if you take this as a standalone, it's really weird because you have original Spock that basically tells new Spock, Zachary Quinto, like who this guy is. Otherwise, they don't know who he is.
But this is
it's a bit like, hold on, are you not doing a Justice League before an individual Justice League member film?
Do you get the concept of these particular Star Trek films?
In what sense?
So, like, how they kind of fit into the Star Trek canon, I suppose.
Do you know what? I always just viewed them as just an opportunity to put to cash in on a name with an established cast and crew of characters that you know, and just kind of reboot them for like like new audiences and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I only ever saw it as that. I didn't see it as like a continuation, as a reboot core, or anything like that. I just saw it as just like a reimagining.
They were clever with it. So it essentially takes place in, they called it the Kelvin universe. So in the first film, the first J.J. Abrams film, they basically do something. I think they blow up a planet and it alters the future. So what goes on is in a different reality to what happens in the original Star Trek.
Okay.
Which is how they managed to like sort of like justify this and why you see Leonard Nimoy's Spock, because that is the Spock that we know.
Yeah.
And he's kind of like telling the audience the events that happened before that the younger people are gonna
So they
face.
still attach this to the original movies. Then they didn't really see it as like a reboot.
of. No, it wasn't. So it's a different universe.
Okay.
So this is the Kelvin universe, and then everything that happened in the Star Trek original series and their films still happened, but in a different reality.
Oh,
so you can
I always just saw this. I saw the original Spock as being almost the exposition.
No, that is the Spock that we knew from the originals.
Okay.
Yeah, because that's good, because by doing that you can separate them.
Yeah.
You can actually not feel like it's going to get affected.
Yeah.
But now all these new TV shows by Alex Kurtzman has kind of rendered that point completely all over the place. Yeah. And that's kind of the legacy, I think, with J.J. Abrams, where this film's good fun, but his legion of weirdos, just like then
Legion of like
Alex Kurtzman and Robert Orkey and the other one who did Lost, Lindelof. Yeah, they all need to stop.
Yeah. Yeah,
they need to go in a Kelvin black hole.
This is the other thing.
But it's good
literally
fun.
In my notes for this, I put Alex Kurtzman linked to terrible Universal Monsterverse.
Well, he is hated by Star Trek fans at large.
That doesn't surprise me. Really doesn't surprise me.
Everything he touches, usually, he made like $1 billion with like Transformers and Star Trek 1, and that just sets you on your way to like 17 years of like cultural devaluation,
not understanding what it is. Anyway, but no, we thought it was, it was still enjoyable, right? Metascore of 72, so it's actually quite strong. Nommed for visual effects. Visual effects, so it's pretty decent. 467 million off a 190 budget. That feels a little bit disappointing to me.
Yeah, the diminishing... that goes into it. So every Star Trek film under Abrams there's a massive drop in box office.
So that's what I was going to ask. That's not a huge return. Are you surprised they got third off of that? It now paints more of a picture around how
it made enough.
Simon Pegg. I mean, well, yeah, but I mean, to wash its face, it would have had to have earned just shy of 400 million. So it would have only made 60, 70 million profit.
I think that's the problem with these particular films, because they're all like the end of the world, destruction.
Yeah, it's like, where do you go from there?
And and it's just like, how do you keep? I
don't know how you make a Star Trek film for 190 million. Like, I get it. Like that's just, it's not like a thing. Like, Pirates of the Caribbean was being made for 250 million, and that's all live action sets and stuff like that as well. It's like, I don't know where this 190 is coming from, you know? So I can imagine they were quite disappointed with it.
Watch Star Trek the motion picture and then watch Star Trek Into Darkness.
Oh, yeah,
and you will, because Star Trek the motion picture, which is the first one, that is just like very little, it's just a lot of talking.
Yeah, it's about 40 quid on screen.
Yeah, William Shatner's big comeback. He just turned 95. It's absolute madness.
I know, right? The Departed, written by William Monahan, I think his name is, off of the original movie by Alan Mack and Felix Chong, who did Infernal Affairs. The plot itself: an undercover cop and a mole in the police attempts to identify each other while infiltrating an Irish gang in South Boston.
Boston. Yes.
Quaps.
So this is Martin Scorsese's Oscar win after 7, 8 attempts.
This is when the Academy felt so bad for not giving him an Oscar for the things that he deserved an Oscar for. They just went, whatever he does next.
Well, what was his true Oscar moment?
Well, put it this way, right? So before this point, other movies that were sitting above this in terms of critical acclaim was Mean Streets, Taxi Driver, The Irishman was after, Goodfellas, Raging Bull, Age of Innocence. That was all before this. I would say Taxi Driver and Goodfellas, and even probably Raging Bull. Probably more Goodfellas and Taxi Driver. Well, Goodfellas is the most famous one. And then after the fact, he's done The Irishman and Killers of the Flower Moon, both of which have been massively plauded for its direction.
Yeah. I would say, this is my hot take, I would probably go with Raging Bull. Like The Departed, I just think he's done much better films.
He has.
The Departed's a fine film. I'm not knocking The Departed.
Yeah.
It's probably, I mean, it's got Matt Damon, DiCaprio, Wahlberg. You've got some like proper A-listers of the mid-2000s, coupled with like absolute icons.
Yeah.
Look, I think we're in the minority when we talk about this film. I think most people love this film.
No, don't get me wrong. I love The Departed. I think it's great. I like should we say, the twist in it. Like the twist moments in The Departed, I think, are really interesting and they're really well done. And it's just really interesting. It's not his best. It's definitely not his best.
Is it his most commercial at the time?
So this is the thing, right? In the last episode, or I think the episode before, we were talking about Shutter Island. And I think Shutter Island is actually his most commercial, but probably up to this point, Departed was, because of the breadth of the cast of it. You know, and it's not that Scorsese doesn't work with the most high-profile actors at that time, right? But for some reason, Departed just had everyone in it. Like, everyone.
I'm very happy that he got to work with Jack Nicholson before Nicholson packed it in.
I was going to say, was this Nicholson's last movie or no?
No, he did. So he did after this.
He did that movie with
The Bucket List.
Yeah, and he
How Do You Know?
With Owen Wilson, which I think is the How Do You Know?
Or How Did You Know?
Yeah,
with Paul Rudd.
That was his last one.
That was his last proper film with James L. Brooks.
Okay.
Yeah, James L. Brooks did his a film last year called Ellen McKay.
Yeah.
Did very badly.
Yeah.
But, I mean, Scorsese has got a new film coming out with DiCaprio.
He has.
And Jennifer Lawrence. So this could be
This could be really good.
His next big one.
Yeah. Cool. In terms of where it sits, so it's a Meta score of 85. It's spontaneously huge little kind of outcome. But it's definitely not his highest. As we mentioned, Mean Streets, Taxi Driver, Irishman, Goodfellas, Raging Bull, Age of Innocence, Killers of the Flower Moon, all on our higher Metascore front. So it's not his best, but it's also damn sure not his worst. 5 nominations at the Oscars, and it won Best Film, Direction, Screenplay, and Editing. Not bad.
He's had an all right career.
292 million from a 90 million budget. That's a bit better than Into Darkness. Yeah, I mean, The Hangover, 2009. Director Todd Phillips. You may know him from films such as Joker, Road Trip, Starsky and Hutch, Due Date, Old School. Written by John Lucas and Scott Moore. They're a duo. They teamed up for things like, they've basically done all the Hangover movies, and one of my personal favourites, Ghost of the Girlfriend's Past. 3 best buddies wake up for a bachelor party in Las Vegas with no memory of the previous night, and the bachelor missing. They must make their way around the city in order to find their friend in time for his wedding. Right? I've actually wrote it here, right? I think this is a really... I really like the first one.
So
I think it's really interesting. I think it's fun. I thought the plot was really ingenious at the time. And the reason why I thought it was ingenious is because it reinvented frat comedy, right? It took what we did most. So when I was doing I don't think we've made any like kind of secret of the fact that Todd Phillips, what he's done with like Joker and stuff like that, and what's happened with latter Hangover movies has, not been great. The problem was I started looking back at Todd Phillips' back catalogue, and there's a lot of stuff here which I love.
So I'm not going to lie, and I have another hot take. The Hangover and Due Date back to back, one of my favourites.
So I would go even further than that. I absolutely adore Starsky and Hutch.
I've not seen it.
Adore Starsky and Hutch. I love Old School.
I've always been very hit and miss.
Loved Old School. So they were the comedies coming out of it. And so when I started going back to Tom Phillips' old catalog, I was like, yeah, Hangover just makes sense then.
Yeah.
And then when you see then what the writers were doing, I was like, yeah, you kind of reinvented comedy. Like we were talking about like James Wan in our other Such a Ranker in a One Credit After Another podcast. And it feels oddly fitting to say, you know what, Tom Phillips, I think, did to comedy what James Wan was doing to horror. Like, not necessarily franchised it, but kind of reinvented it, gave it a bit of a fresh take of paint. We were coming out 2009. You're coming out of Judd Apatow tale. Like, his comedies were over. Like, that was done. We needed a bit of reinvention. American Pie, like proper frat comedies, were dead at that moment. This kind of merged those things together. It kind of reinvented comedy. It gave us a reason to go to comedy again. And The Hangover just kind of nailed it.
I mean, The Hangover, the first one, that was the first 15 I ever went to.
Okay.
And probably haven't laughed that much at a film since.
Yeah.
Because it was one of those, I don't know whether I'm glamorising it, but I saw the film and I'm pretty sure the whole cinema was packed out and everyone was laughing.
Everyone was laughing, yeah.
And you just don't really... You do get that. I'm not saying that doesn't happen anymore. But that felt like a very like special kind of like time.
Yeah.
I like Todd Phillips. I do not like the Joker stuff. It is just like the epitome of glamour. It's like derivative and glamorizing a modern issue for like money. But with like silly comedies, he can have... There is emotion. Due Date, surprisingly, has some very touching scenes. But yeah, he when he did his comedies, yeah, that was like his panache.
Yeah, absolutely. What do you think of the cast?
Fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, you honestly do think that all these people have known each other for years?
Yeah,
they have like
really good chemistry.
They have the banter, the chemistry that really locks you in. Does a really good job of establishing why you like them. They have like very different personalities. I think everyone kind of like knows the Bradley Cooper Ed Helms dynamic. When you sort of know like one of your friends is basically being like humiliated without him realizing it.
Yeah.
Zach Galifianakis is fantastic.
So I was going to say, this is the thing. I thought it was a really good turn for Bradley Cooper because I thought it was a genius move.
Well, this is what basically established him as a proper A-lister.
But also they also established him as someone who has range, right? He could do comedy, he could do serious. But you mentioned obviously Zach Galifianakis, and it's weird that we don't see more of him. But he is in a lot of stuff.
It's the nature of just... Zach Galifianakis, he basically played this character for about 4 years in like 5 different films.
Yeah.
Like Due Date is the exact same character.
Yeah. I think like his like built real big screen kind of presence, for instance, kind of diminished a bit when he did that. He did the politics movie with Will Ferrell. Was it
Yes.
the election or the
campaign?
Campaign,
Yeah.
yeah.
But he did like Between Two Ferns, which was enormous.
A huge
Like
success.
he even interviewed like Barack Obama.
He's also like turned up in like some real good drama, like really good drama. Like he plays serious oddly well. Like you know, so it's not that he's not been in stuff. I think that's the amazing thing. But he definitely hasn't kind of had. I don't know. It almost feels like he's kind of retired into TV a bit more than he has into film. But
Yeah.
I was looking at his credit list. It's pretty healthy. You know, he's still doing quite a bit of work. He's doing a lot of voice work. He's in a lot of stuff.
Do you know if he did anything noteworthy before The Hangover?
Don't think so.
That's what because he was 40, I think,
Yeah.
or 40-ish when this film came out. So it's quite a because this film really did establish so many people's careers.
Yeah. Just to wrap it up, so it's got Metascore of 73. It was nominated for a BAFTA, so not for any Oscars, but it got a BAFTA for Best Screenplay. Or at least nominated for it. And 469 million off of a budget of 35.
Fantastic return.
Insane. Serious cash, that one.
Did it make $1 billion overall, the Hangover trilogy?
Yeah, it would have done.
Amazing.
Nuts, isn't it?
Hangover Part 2, that has its moments, but that is the epitome of like, well, a sequel, we've got to go more.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, I know. Yes, so we're going to wrap this up then with Raymond, 1988's classic, directed by Barry Levinson, who also did Good Morning Vietnam, Wag the Dog, Toys, and writers Barry Moreau and Ron Bass, I think it is, Ron Bass. Story is after a selfish LA yuppie learns his estranged father left a fortune to an autistic savant brother in Ohio that he didn't know existed. He ascends with his brother and sets out across the country, hoping to gain a larger inheritance.
So, think it's a bit overrated.
Do you really?
Yeah. It's a good film. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't put this in my like top 10 of the 1980s.
Okay.
I don't think Tom Cruise is particularly great in it. But I don't know what...
Oh, that's contentious.
I don't know whether Dustin Hoffman is kind of overshadows him.
See, now I think that I think Tom Cruise's performance is underrated in this.
Ooh.
But it's his character arc which is so interesting because it's out of his wheelhouse at that moment because he's not arrogant or charming. He's just a dick. And I suppose it's him and then that relationship with his brother, this hatred he has for his father and stuff like that. It's really subtle. And it moves really nicely throughout the story to the point then where it changes him. Fundamentally, it changes him as a person. And I think that is a lot for a young actor at the time. Tom Cruise, he'd done obviously a lot of stuff, but he was getting typecast. To then go out and do a role like this, for instance, opposite Dustin Hoffman, who was very well established at that point, I think is awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think he quite nailed it yet. I think it was around A Few Good Men where he kind of became more of a acting presence because he always had presence.
But that's why I think Rayman was really important.
Gun.
Rayman was really important because up until that point he was fun, and he was a bit Michael J. Foxy, and he just had that kind of happy-go-lucky character that translated really well to the type of films he was doing. Then Rayman's more interesting because that then allowed him to break that and be kind of an arse.
Yeah.
Which he hadn't really been before that point.
Are we going to get a sequel?
Rayman?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think we're ever probably going to see... I mean, I know Dustin Hoffman was in a movie last year.
No,
his first appearance
he's
like
still
2013.
No, he's still... I mean, he's had a very controversial 10 years.
Yeah.
But he's still appearing in a fairly regular amount of films.
Yeah.
Not big roles because he's getting on a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not one of my favourites of either of their careers.
I mean, in terms of success, though, this did incredibly well for itself. So this won. It got 8 nominations at the Oscars, and it won Best Picture, Lead Actor, Director, and Screenplay. The nominations were for cinematography. It was also nominated for cinematography, art direction, editing, and original score. And interestingly, from an original score perspective, this was the first motion picture that Hans Zimmer created the score for.
Yeah, I think I saw that myself.
Yeah, so it's incredibly successful. What I would say though, pretty quiet year for the Oscars, if I'm being honest.
Well, 88.
Yeah.
Couldn't tell you a single other film, I think, that came out in 88.
Yeah, exactly, right? Kevin Kline, I think, won for A Fish Called Wanda that year.
Yes.
John Lasseter won an Oscar for an animated short that year as well.
I know what that animated short is. Don't tell me.
Is it something like Iron Man or something?
No, it's a...
Tin Man.
Tin Man. Yeah. It's well scary.
Oh, okay.
It's on Disney Plus.
Oh, okay.
It's scary.
Okay. I'm just trying to think of some other stuff that was in there that year. But anyway, it was a bit of a slow year, right? But Rain Man obviously picked up quite a lot. It's sitting on a Metascore of 65.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think that's a fair score. Perhaps a little bit under what I would perhaps give it. I'd probably go close to 70s because I do think it's a good movie. I think it's a feel-good movie. It just made... So we're talking about serious cash, right? This is back in the 80s or late 80s. 355 million off budget 25.
That's it. Well, I've just looked at the Wikipedia, and it made between 354 million and 429 million. How the hell can it be like that different?
I mean, I just went on. This is IMDb.
Yeah, it's IMDb. Yeah.
Which isn't that bad, is it? That's a hell of a lot of cash for that. Right, so let's do this, right? We've got a little bit of time left. Let's try and see if we can rank this stuff.
Honestly, is insanely hard.
This is a hard one this week, right? Let's start with 5, shall we? I think it's either between Into Darkness or About Time.
I'm going to go About Time.
Okay.
As number 5.
That surprises me. I thought you would go Into Darkness. Particularly because you were mentioned about how your opinion of it is declined over time.
But this is... I always say it, but it depends how you approach it. If you want to watch a good, fun, crazy film with loads of twists and turns and really good performances and really good character development, it's good fun. If you look at it as on the point of view of like Star Trek, which is what we're not really looking at it, we're just looking at it as the film. I mean, you have a good time with it. Yeah. I think About Time has very, very emotionally interesting moments, but I do think it has like pacing issues. You know, it has that Richard Curtis sort of like directing flaw, where I think Into Darkness has a lot more like fun to it.
Yeah, About Time is charming to the point where it's only fine.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, yeah, I agree. Right, so then at 5, then we've got About Time. At 4, we've got Star Trek Into Darkness. We got some tough ones. So Departed, Hangover, and Rain Man. I'm probably going to say the next one is probably going to be The Hangover. And you just chuckled to say it's not your third.
No.
Okay. What's your third?
This is really difficult.
So I'm assuming you're going to put Rain Man.
I'm using nostalgia bias. Okay. I would definitely have The Hangover above Rain Man.
Okay.
The Hangover was such a cultural moment that I feel like still kind of lives with us. It's still kind of used as like that big blockbuster comedy that we kind of like crave, because it's been so long since we had something like The Hangover.
Okay.
So I think The Hangover has like a big cultural hold, particularly on like our generation.
Okay.
I don't think Rain Man has quite the same hold on us. And there's been much better films with like, particularly with like Tom Cruise.
Yeah. I also think that it's been reappraised. Its reappraisal has moved it away from being an important movie into just being a nice movie.
Oh,
do you know what I mean?
Rain Man.
Yeah. So I kind of get that. Whereas The Hangover, you can still watch, and it is what it is.
Yeah.
Right?
You'll have such a good time with that. Yeah. You'll have a good time in another way with Rain Man.
So but this is the thing. I wonder if, say, like in 10 years' time, it will be another conversation entirely, right? Because we all know that drinking's down. So teenagers don't drink anymore. So when you have a movie about The Hangover or something like that, is it going to have the legs? Or do you reckon that might see a reappraisal where it's just like, I don't understand why you would do this?
I think when you watch The Hangover, ironically, even knowing the disaster that the characters go to, you just want to go to Vegas and have fun.
Mm.
It has that crazy escapism that is like sadly lacking. Yeah, I think it's absolutely hilarious still. Like a lot of comedies have aged poorly. This is still aged not brilliantly in some regards, but all that it's just hilarious. Even them driving to Vegas is hilarious.
Yeah.
Really, really good characters in terms of like their chemistry, as we've said.
It's great chemistry.
Yeah, you want to hang around with them. It's a good hangout movie.
Okay.
Where Rain Man just isn't.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair.
But I'm not like degrading Rain Man, because Rain Man's it can be any more different to The Hangover.
But then it sounds like then the rest of this list has kind of fallen into place.
Well, I'm going to be incredibly controversial here.
Are you? You're going to say The Hangover's better than Departed?
Yeah.
You genuinely think that The Hangover is the best film on this list?
Yeah. For all the mentions I've said, and I don't think it's a very good film. It's not one of Scorsese's best, but it might be Todd Phillips' best.
No, I think I do like Starsky and Hutch.
Oh, I haven't seen it, so I don't
I'm a big
know
fan
my
of
opinion
Starsky
on
and
that.
Hutch.
No, I think, as we've said, The Hangover was like a big cultural moment. And I feel like The Departed is just basically like, well, let's give it to Marty.
Okay.
I don't know how I'd feel about The Departed if Jack Nicholson wasn't in it.
Okay.
Because I don't love DiCaprio in this film.
Yeah.
Like he's
shouting.
I think this is one of his worst films.
Yeah.
I think this is a really good vehicle for Matt Damon and showing his range as essentially a villain.
Yeah.
And I just think DiCaprio is just, he just plays that bordering on irritating character.
Yeah.
I know he's essentially supposed to be that way. Yeah. I really like every character in this other than him. Love Martin Sheen in this.
Yeah.
I like Mark Wahlberg's funny. Alec Baldwin's good.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good film, but I think it's overrated.
Okay.
And I think The Hangover is just like, we hadn't really seen anything like The Hangover, and we never will again.
Yeah.
Like they get a CGI tiger now. They got a real tiger in that hotel suite.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going Hangover for the win.
Okay. Yeah, I'll jump on board. I'll jump on board that crazy train.
Yeah?
Yeah, why not? Cool. Right, so our top 5 this year, this week. So at 5, we've got About Time. 4, we've got Star Trek Into Darkness. At 3, we've got Rain Man. At 2, we've got The Departed. And at number 1, we've got The Hangover.
There you go.
Wow. So a comedy can get to the top of a list. Cool. All right, guys. Well, thank you very much for taking part in the latest episode of Such a Ranker. How do you rate our list? What do you agree or disagree with? Would you do anything differently? We'd love to hear your opinions. Take care, and we'll see you soon.